Hey gang, and welcome to another Animal Crossing video. I'm Crossing Channel, and a new update patch for the latest Animal Crossing update has just dropped. If you go into your Nintendo Switch, you'll notice that there is a new update for Animal Crossing New Horizons, and this is a new patch which will basically fix some major issues that have been going on within the game. So this was definitely a surprise to some, but if you've been keeping track of the game in the past few weeks, you'll definitely have noticed that there's been some pretty big issues that Nintendo would have had to fix with the game, and it looks like they've finally done it. So if you go in, you'll notice that the version number is now 1.11.1. So we're going to check out everything that's changed, what issues and bugs have been fixed, and more. So let's get into this. Quickly before we do, I want to mention that I now offer channel memberships for as low as $1.99. By becoming a channel member, you can get some exclusive emojis to use in my comments, a badge by your name in my comments, and you can also access our members-only Discord server as well. So if you want to help support my channel, definitely consider becoming a member. It really does help support me a lot. Now, these are the patch notes for the latest Animal Crossing update, and as you can see, it focuses around bug fixes. If you were expecting some kind of update with like massive new additions like we've kind of been wanting to see, unfortunately that is not the case here, but it is still a positive update because some of these issues were really affecting players. Now, bear in mind, these are Google translated from Japanese, so they might not make a ton of sense because Google Translate is kind of crazy, but you know what, we're going to take a look at them and see exactly what has been fixed. So first of all, it mentions that fixed a bug that the order was not correct when rearranging obtained order in the DIY recipe app. Now this is actually something that I mentioned in one of my previous videos, that the DIY recipes had some strange things going on, and this was one of the bugs that we'd noticed in the latest update. So this is now fixed and you can sort your DIY recipes properly, which is great. Personally, I didn't even know you could do this before I made that video, so I guess I'll be doing that from now on. But yeah, if you like to sort your DIY recipes, which apparently a lot of people do, then you can now do that again without issue. The next one was actually a lot more significant and definitely was something they needed to fix as quickly as they could. Fixed a bug where the color variations of certain items were not displayed in the catalog at the shooting studio of Panny Island, which of course is Harvey's Island. So they've basically fixed the issues that were going on at Harvey's Island. Now, I didn't get time to make a video about the issues there, but I believe Mayor Mori made a pretty great one if you want to go and get a recap on that. But basically, there were some issues with how items were displaying at Harvey's Island, meaning you couldn't truly make the most of the island and the studio there. So Nintendo came in and they've fixed that, which is really great news. I'm happy about that. They've also fixed a bug about the closing music of Nook's Cranny, which is something I made a video about that actually a lot of people saw, so I know this sounds a little bit arrogant, but I feel like maybe Nintendo might have noticed that video. It'd be very cool if they did. They probably didn't. They probably knew about it anyways, but hey, maybe they did. Who knows? And they fixed a bug where the clouds did not appear in some seasons. Now, I have no idea what that one means, but I did hear some things about it, so maybe you guys in the comments know a little bit more about it that I didn't know. So most significantly is the closing music of Nook's Cranny being added back in. I think this worried a lot of people that maybe Nintendo could have actually taken it out intentionally for some reason. I got some comments with people saying the music is depressing and maybe that's why they took it out, which is really bizarre to me. Why would they take it out just because a few people found it depressing? That's definitely not the reason at all. It was just a bug. It was just a mistake. Now, I know people are probably still going to theorize that maybe the music was removed because they might be working on Nook's Cranny upgrade. I sincerely doubt it. I think most likely they changed one piece of code and it affected this one because they're somehow connected. Stuff like that happens. If you've ever done coding, and especially if you've ever done game development, you'll know how fickle games can be, and changing one tiny little thing can affect everything. So yeah, they've come through and fixed this. They wanted to reassure us that, yeah, this music is supposed to be there like we mostly suspected. There was just a little bug that was affecting it, so yeah, they've brought it back and I'm really happy about that. Like I mentioned, I did make a video on this and it was actually quite a popular video of mine, so I maybe feel like maybe Nintendo could have seen it. I don't want to come out and be like, yeah, Nintendo totally saw my video, because they probably didn't. I mean, it's Nintendo, but it would be pretty cool if they did. Although I will say, I did make a lot of videos about bugs and glitches in the last Animal Crossing update, and those weren't fixed, especially the one about villagers not appearing in the museum, so I don't know for sure, but it's really interesting that these were fixed so promptly, especially when we had quite a few issues in the last update too. Now, another one that, like I said, I didn't really touch upon in a video, but I kind of want to touch upon briefly now, is Harvey's Island. Now, I never go to Harvey's Island, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have any reason to, but I know a lot of people use it, and those who do use it discovered that, well, certain items just weren't appearing there, which is obviously a problem because Harvey's Island is literally all about decorating. So if you go there and you can't properly decorate, what is it good for, you know? So Nintendo came through and they fixed it. I'm honestly surprised that they noticed this one, to be honest with you, because Harvey's Island is kind of an obscure place. Like I said, probably when they changed something else, it affected Harvey's Island. In terms of that argument that maybe the music in Nook's Cranny disappeared, they could be doing an upgrade, you could also argue that because stuff went wrong at Harvey's Island, they might be doing an upgrade for Harvey's Island. And let's be honest, they're not doing an upgrade for Harvey's Island. So if you put those two together, it makes it pretty obvious these were just simple mistakes that Nintendo made kind of in the background and that they've now had to come through and fix. It's really interesting to me to see a new update patch like this though, because it's been a while since we've seen a patch to fix bugs in the game. I think this is something that honestly Nintendo probably doesn't like to do with this game. New Horizons is a very pristine and beautiful looking game, so I'm sure they don't love having to come through and fix some issues, especially because players will report on these issues like crazy. Obviously, I've made so many videos about bugs in the game, especially when, you know, there's not as much news in the game. This is the kind of stuff that we focus on. So Nintendo's had to come through and release a new patch, but you know what, good on them for coming through so quickly to fix this update, I guess. It wasn't like majorly broken, but the stuff that was broken was definitely annoying. Now there is some other stuff that they've fixed that I haven't seen anyone mention yet, and they actually fixed this before this patch, so I'm definitely going to make more videos about that. However, one thing I wanted to mention before we end off this video is something that I think a lot of people are going to have on their minds. The Halloween and November items that were introduced in this update that Nintendo never mentioned but were data mined and you can time travel forwards to, were those a mistake or are they intentionally in the game? And well, this update patch kind of proves that Nintendo did intentionally put them in. They're still available, you can still go and get them. You can still see them in the game. So yes, these were definitely intentionally added in. I reckon most likely these items were added in as a kind of fail-safe to make sure Nintendo has enough content for the months ahead, just in case they can't do another update in time. It does make sense. They probably want to do another update before then, I imagine, but if they can't, it makes sense to have these in. I reckon we'll probably see some kind of announcement on Nintendo's blog post at the end of September? Very strange way to pronounce it there. I reckon we'll probably see that, so keep an eye out for that because I'll definitely make more videos when there's more Animal Crossing content to talk about. But let me know, have you updated your game yet? Are you glad to see some bug fixes for some of the major issues in the latest update? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like to support my content. You can also comment Bob's Gang down below if you made it to the end. You can also subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more Animal Crossing videos.